news, everyone.
I'm back, baby.
It's Jake Ciely.
I'm great. Everybody else sucks.
Oh,
It's every nightmare I've ever had.
Excuse me?
It's time to check the link.
Pretty crazy, huh? But it doesn't matter because none of this has anything to do with the show.
you know what? You just made the list.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
It's all in football.
Sure, we talk about it all the time. Really? No.
What is up, you ducks? It is All in Football on FTN Network. If you want to check out FTN and Chris Meaney and his greatness of wonderfulness and everything that he has going on, as we were lauding him before we came on this show, he has helped me win some money this year. Well, was that last year or this year? You have helped many people win money. Make sure you use code ALLIN 20% off at FTN. The Athletic is where my series right now, Breakout Running Backs, comes out. Well, I was going to say tomorrow, but depending on where you're listening to this in your area, Thursday it'll be out, is Breakout Running Backs this week. And as you notice, there's a third person on this show.
Yes.
He's kind of like, he's like our little brother, Chris. We were going way back in the day of Florio, Michael Florio of the NFL Network, the once, the great, the always. I switched hats after just doing your podcast, Florio, so I could wear a Mets hat for you.
I noticed that. I was going to say, you have a different hat on than the one you did like 20 minutes ago. And also, your introduction brings me back because I used to produce for you, and I used to have to cut up the 8-bit music and stuff. So it definitely brought me back to about like 5 years ago or so.
5 years ago when you were, what, 14? Is that what
it
was?
Man, good times. Honestly, I love chopping it up with Jake, but Florio's on the show here. Are you kidding me? Like, Jake, you didn't have that much excitement in your voice, but then now I know you guys were just together earlier doing the show. So it's like Florio again. But
I'm getting my
the lust wore off.
Yeah, this is 2022. Like, this is after today. I don't talking to Florio for the rest of the year, unless the Mets make with the World Series. Then we'll talk a little bit.
Fingers crossed.
Oh wow.
You need more than
Mets Angels maybe.
Hey, what a surprise!
go.
A rotation constructed of 5 injury risks hasn't worked out so far.
Ah,
Man, the Mets are
they're
rolling.
hitting.
What's not to like? Yeah, what's not to like about the start for New York? I mean, you know DeGrom, and you're sitting here atop the division,
No
and
Scherzer.
now Scherzer's
Biggest
out,
lead in
but you're
baseball.
still hanging around. Yeah.
Here's Chris. Actually, Florio knows this too because he knows me from early on as well. You guys know the curse of ICCU. I Ciely curse you. I went live to see Tyler McGill live in DC. I tweeted about him, about the fact he's going to dominate this game while I'm here live, and even tagged his mom on the tweet because she tweets during his starts, and it was the one where he got blown up because he has bicep tendonitis and he hasn't pitched since. So I'm going to avoid going to Mets games for the rest of my life.
It's your fault. Yeah, just continue to go to Orioles games, and Washington games with your new girl.
So thank you. That I almost forgot, Florio. So I teased on their show, Chris. I was going to ask them the question I asked you about the Orioles game because I'm curious, because Florio might even be nicer than you are, and I'm kind of curious his take before. By the way, we're having fun today, if you couldn't tell, but we're going to play Family Feud. Chris, I almost went. I lying? Because I know, because so Florio knows this. This goes back to Nando's days. We had a wonderful game that we used to play with Mike, and I was going to do a variation of that, Florio. What I used to do was 2 truths and a lie, like the game people play with each other. Like Chris cannot get that right for the life of him. Like he picks the right answer but the wrong one because he can't say it. Like can't do it. So I'm doing that next week, and we're doing Family Feud today. But so here's the quick story, because everybody has already heard the story. So I told us the quick version, Florio, is we have seats, couple rows off the field. Old lady walking around, finds a new seat. It's not her seat. She sits down. She puts her jacket over the back of the seat, folded, like a folded jacket, and is pushing it aggressively between our knees and the seat, and glares at us like it's our fault that she's pushing it there. Was strike 1. I didn't say anything. Strike 2 is she stands up because they hit a home run and the jacket fell. And when it fell, she did it, and she did it again and like pushed our knees. Would you have said anything, Mike Florio?
I'd like to say I would, but I'm a softie in the moment. I don't know if I would have said something directly. I definitely would have given a look. I don't know, because sometimes I'm too nice, but then that inner New Yorker in me comes out, and the first time I definitely wouldn't have said anything. The second time I might have been like, what are you doing here?
Right. That's pretty much what my answer was as well. First one, maybe I let it slide. Second, you're getting the look. Third, something's got to be done.
There was a third time?
No, yeah,
I think
there
he
was
just
a
ended up
third time.
moving.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, at that point you just throw her jacket on the field or something like that.
And she was on an end seat. She could have put it over the side arm too. Like she didn't have to put it there. So anyway, that's the quick version. All right. I just realized we're playing this game and I gotta find somewhere to keep your box scores here. But anyway, it is Family Feud. The easiest way to do this is I'm actually gonna ask a question. And then that's how you get the category. So you don't even know the category technically. You'll see. You'll see what I'm talking about. But I'm just going to go by who I hear first. There's no delay, so judgment. If Fox has to chime in the private chat to let me know if I got it wrong or whatever. But so you first, and then you get to control the board. So this is what we're doing. And there are fantasy purposes, reasons behind all of this, as you'll see. So the first one, there were, with at least 7 end zone targets. So with at least 7 end zone targets, there were 7 receivers with more end zone targets than red zone targets. True or false? Haha, Chris, it's a true or false. Somebody jump in.
True.
I'm going to say false.
Nope, he jumped in first. You don't even get a guess. He jumped in first. He chimed in. It's just like family. He already got it wrong.
Oh, okay.
So Florio, this is the list. There are 6 that have more end zone targets than red zone targets last year, which is a crazy stat to think of. Can you name them? Start the list. Let's go.
I get three strikes, right? Like regular Family Feud.
3 strikes.
Okay. I'm gonna guess. I know he led the league in end zone targets by far, and I don't think his red zone targets were as much. I'm gonna guess Stefon Diggs.
Stefon Diggs is not one of the answers. He has 1 strike already.
He had 23 end zone targets, I believe. Okay, so we're looking for teams that throw. I feel like there's going to be some weird names on this list.
Possibly.
Pat Fryermuth.
Fryermuth, the strike 2 already. Ooh,
Oh,
slow
man.
down. As Steve Harvey would say, we need to slow down here. There's 2 strikes on the board.
I might go 0 for 3.
I like Jiggle's idea. So from now on, we'll see if you get this. Jiggle's a great idea. So who's your third guess?
I don't think this is right,
There's
but
some big names here.
I'm gonna go DK Metcalf.
No, correct. Strike 3. 0 for 3, Chris. One of the 6, you steal the first category.
One of the 6. My goodness, Jake, you're starting us off really tough here.
I see that.
Hunter Henry?
Come on here. No, not Hunter Henry. 0s across the board. You guys suck. All right, so these are the 6. Now, granted, again, more than 7. So there's guys down there with like 3 and 1. But again, more end zone targets than red zone targets. Jamar Chase, 14 end zone targets, 12 red zone. Terry McLaurin, 11 and 9. Marquez Callaway, 10
I'm
and
not
9.
getting him.
Yeah, of course.
Devonta Smith, 10 and 8. Tyler Lockett, 9 and 7. And then you guys weren't getting this one either. Josh Reynolds, 7 and 5. No. So here's where we want to go. Chris, you lost the category, so you get to answer first, Florio. This is the fantasy-related part of it. Terry McLaurin, 11 end zone, 9 red zone. People have wanted him to break out to be a wide receiver 1. New quarterback, but he's got another weapon alongside of him, whether or not Curtis Samuel is healthy. And if Curtis Samuel is healthy, he's got 2. Is Terry McLaurin destined to only be a wide receiver 2, or is there any hope that he can get to wide receiver 1 value?
Is I go first here?
Yeah, you're answering this.
Okay. I definitely think he has the capability of being a wide receiver 1. I don't get why that would have changed if we were all so enamored with his talent the last 2 years. The thing is, last year you kind of had to pay for him, expecting him to make that jump. He was going like top 15 wide receivers, if I'm remembering correctly. This year, at least in early best ball drafts, he's going like wide receiver 20, sometimes a little bit later. So I think the fact that he can return wide receiver 2 value, and we feel pretty comfortable about that. And if he does anything on top of that, then it's just a positive return on that investment. It's making me like Terry McLaurin even more. And I've always been a big Scary Terry fan. And look, we can say what we want about Carson Wentz, guys. He is still clearly the best quarterback that Terry McLaurin has ever played with. So I still think it's possible for McLaurin to make that jump. but I like that we no longer am drafting him expecting him to do so.
You agree, Meaney? This is Carson Wentz is your boy.
He used to be my boy. Yeah, he used to be. I do have a couple of Wentz tees that I wear around in the yard when I don't care if they get dirty or not. But I do agree with what Florio said. I mean, the upside's there. We've all liked him, right? Scary Terry. It's clearly the ceiling is pretty high with him, and I don't think we've actually seen it just yet. The biggest thing is it's not just the quarterback play. I agree. Wentz is probably the best quarterback play. It's like getting other guys on the field around him. Like all the attention is always Terry McLaurin. Like who's that next wide receiver that can step up? Logan Thomas was like the second best weapon they had, over the past couple of seasons. So, maybe, Curtis Samuel can stay healthy. Maybe just take away some of the attention from Terry McLaurin. But yeah, I'm seeing high stakes leagues, wide receiver 17 in this month of May. I think that's okay. All right. You didn't like it, right? You poo-pooed that? Did I?
Oh, no, that was an accident. I was putting that down. So
sure.
That was completely unintentional there. All right. So next one. Shout your name, and then you get to guess. True or false, Chris? It's the thing. Everything's going to start with the true. But it's just true or false. True or false, Kenny Golladay had 9 end zone targets and 0 touchdowns.
True.
I mean, you didn't say your name, but you got it
Mike.
right. I mean,
true.
Way to listen to.
I know he had 0 touchdowns. That I know.
It did, and it was 9. Yes, 9. So you have control of the board, Florio, and you have a layup here because you've already got one of these players. So you can get one of these 8 wide receivers with 13 or more end zone targets. Give me those 8.
Stefon Diggs.
Yes, 23. Led the league. There you go. So you already got your point there. Yeah. If you missed that one, I was going to ban you from the
when
show.
you said I already had, it took me a minute. I was like, I already had one. Is Kenny Golladay the answer? And then I realized what you another one that's had it's at least 13.
At least 13.
I'm gonna go with DK Metcalf again.
Yes, DK Metcalf had 15.
Nice.
So there you go. You got 2.
So at least 13 end
There's
zone
some
targets.
big names have here.
Yeah,
interesting.
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams, no.
Oh.
Boom.
Wow.
Oh, the biggest one of them all, Cooper Kupp.
Who'd you say?
Cooper
That was a long one. Cooper Kupp, yes, with 14.
Justin Jefferson.
Yes, 17, second place.
Nice.
So how many left
You
are
have
there?
2 strikes, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4 left.
Wait, I have 2. I thought I had 1 strike.
Yeah, you have 2. That 2
Oh,
strikes
2
left.
left.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You tell stuff reverse order than Steve Harvey. AJ, no, I'm taking that one back. He missed time.
I like the thinking through it over here.
The receivers who
Do you want me to kiss
finished-
you on a cheek like the old guy?
That's way
first
before
one?
my time.
Do you know, like, he would not be allowed to get away with that today.
No chance. Yeah, no chance.
You're gonna get a poop. You're gonna get a
Tyler Lockett?
Tyler Lockett. Nope.
That was just a throwaway guess right there.
The poop emoji does not like Tyler Lockett.
That's a likely one.
I was gonna guess Debo, but he ran too much.
You should have known Lockett
red zone
because I told you
carries.
9 on the last question. If you were paying
Yeah,
attention.
that was
That's why you got this
I was
super
running
long
out of
poop emoji.
time, and I just threw a name out
All right.
there.
Well, here we go. 5, 4,
Why am I struggling
3,
right now?
2, 1.
AJ Brown.
Nope.
He was the name that just kept coming to mind.
Chris, do you want to take a stab?
Mike
I
Evans?
gave you.
Come on, no. Wow.
No, not Mike Evans. I gave you Jamar Chase. I gave you one of the answers at the last one. He had 14. I said 14 and 12. Like, you guys need to pay more attention over here. So Jamar Chase, Marvin Jones, 14.
Of course.
Mike Williams with 14.
I considered him.
Gabe Davis with 13. He is the one I want to ask you guys about. Chris, I was going to ask you about this first, but 2 reasons. So Florio won this, and he's a Bills guy. Gabriel Davis. Here's how I'll set up the question for you. How high is too high for Gabriel Davis 2022, Florio?
For me, I like taking him as a wide receiver 3. I'm borderline wide receiver 2. I'm okay with if he starts going like top 20 or anything like that. Then I think we're getting way overboard. I really like him though as
or Michael Thomas.
For me, as of now, I will take Michael Thomas. If the health of Michael Thomas is in question, the closer we get, I might change that answer. But I still think I go Michael Thomas. I love Gabriel Davis. I liked him last year. I didn't understand why they were using Emmanuel Sanders over him. And then we saw he's the best field stretcher outside of Stefon Diggs. He's their best red zone threat there outside of Stefon Diggs. So I think he can be a really strong wide receiver too. And I actually did a little study on offenses that support 2 high-end receivers, and basically you need a top 10 quarterback, you need a top 10 scoring offense. The Bills are going to meet both of that criteria. So I definitely think Gabriel Davis could be a wide receiver 2 in fantasy this year.
Chris?
You know the answer. I love Gabe Davis. Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
That's why I also asked Gabe Davis versus Michael Thomas.
And it's funny that you brought that up because, we had Matthew Betts on Mean Streets, who's from Fantasy Footballers. You can also catch this show on Game Plus, all in football and Fantasy Footballers. He's an injury expert. I saw him tweet about Michael Thomas, and he just had this to say. He said, it's nice to see him running, but he's not yet cutting, so he's still a ways away just yet. But they are going neck and neck, Jake, side by side in high-stakes drafts again in the month of May. 30 for Gabriel Davis, wide receiver 30, and 31 for Thomas. I think the upside is there with Thomas, but man, new system, new offense, new coach. And cut any balls from Jameis. Florio said it, man. Give me the top offense in the league and the number 1 quarterback, in fantasy and maybe in the NFL. So I am going to lean with Gabe Davis. Big fan.
All right. Next one. Name, Florio, name, or you don't get it right this time.
Okay.
No allowances here. There were 20 wide receivers in the NFL with negative unrealized air yards.
I'm going to say
Mike.
True. Chris True. Oh.
No, you took way too long. Mike. True.
I'm going to say false just because it seems like such a wild number.
It is a wild number, yeah.
It's a wild number, but it's not that far off. There were 17 with negative unrealized air yards. Who's number 1? Bonus. You both get a shot at this one. Bonus. Who was the number 1? Who had the most had the most negative? So they actually provided with what their air yards should have been. For everybody out there that might not understand what negative could potentially mean. So
you're saying they left all these air yards on the field?
No, that's unrealized air yards. This is negative unrealized air yards. So they did more than they should have.
Oh, Rondell Moore.
Chris, your guess? Come on, I feel like the chat would get it. No. Rondell Moore was 3rd. Cordero Patterson was 2. And then Deebo Samuel with minus 376.
Wow.
Unrealized. So, again, if air yards just zeroed out, he did another 376. So now we're going the other way. You got the board, Florio. Once again.
I feel like this has been boring for me.
I know. Chris, at some point, you're going to have to get involved here.
I'm kind of learning a lot. So
there were
I wouldn't know any of these answers.
Six. That's not a 6. There were 6. There were 6 wide receivers with more than 600 unrealized air yards. Name them.
Oh my goodness!
Didn't you just give the top 3 away?
No, that's negative. These are the actual good ones. These are they left it on the field.
So they're getting so it's
a
people
tough category apparently.
No, it's just I never used the term unrealized. So that's so it's just people who get a lot of deep targets but weren't necessarily successful on them.
So there you go. Top 6. All
Courtland Sutton.
Courtland Sutton, number 1, 733 yards left on the field.
I think number 1 in back-to-back years. I think, Jake.
That wouldn't surprise me.
The top 5 2 years ago. Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Can I take a quick sidetrack? You don't have to explain. Just Jeudy or Sutton. Who do you guys like more? Because I go back and forth on this. Sutton.
This much.
I'm a Jeudy sucker. I'm gonna guess Jerry Jeudy as my second guess because that's how bad the Broncos were.
No, Jerry Jeudy is not your second guess.
Robbie Anderson.
How did you get Robbie Anderson? 4. at 637.
Because he had like 120 targets and like 6 catches.
The only reason I would have known this because I put this in my waiver column because it's potential, players that could bounce. Robbie Anderson was in the waiver column inside the top 5 for like 7 straight weeks.
I wrote about him a good amount as well because I was just a sucker for him. So it's 2 right, 1 strike. I'm gonna guess DJ Moore as another one.
Oh, that was a quick one. so 2 strikes, 2 correct. 1 more guess. You gotta
Marvin
make it quick.
Jones.
Oh wow, that's what I was.
You got double poop there. Chris for the steal. One of the 4 that's left here.
Let's see. Who got some deep targets and sucked at quarterback? Chase Claypool.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, come on.
Man, you guys are struggling. Florio, you've named 2 of them like 7 times on this show already. DK Metcalf, number 2, 669. Terry McLaurin, 664. That's not the other one. The other one you mentioned, Stefon Diggs, 625. And Marquise Brown at 614. Here's the question. Chris, you get to go first on the question because, we got too much Florio going on over here. I know he's the guest and everything.
Not enough Florio.
But,
never enough.
And it's the Stefon Diggs. We're going back to the Bills. Here's how I'm phrasing the Stefon Diggs. What are the odds? Give me a 1 to 10 likelihood that Stefon Diggs becomes the number 2 wide receiver in fantasy this year.
Like the number 2 overall?
Yes, as in behind Cooper Kupp and leapfrogs Adams, Jefferson, and Chase. 1 to 10, and then what about just getting in front of Adams?
Yeah, I think getting in front of Adams, I think I'd give him like an 8 or a 9. I think he could easily.
Oh wow! So you would take Diggs over Adams this year?
Not necessarily. They're neck and neck, but I think I would definitely not. I wouldn't be shocked if he was. I mean, this is Adams going to, I know Derek Carr and Adams played football years ago together, but there's still a lot of other weapons over there. It's not going to be like Rodgers and Adams playing catch in the field. It can't be that good. So I wouldn't be shocked if Diggs finished ahead of him. But the other guys, I'd probably say like 6 or 7. I still feel like, Chase and Jefferson comfortably take them over. But I think, Diggs is in for a bit of a bounce back. Can we call it a bounce back? He was so awesome 2 years ago. I think he can get right back to that mark.
Well, that's the thing, Florio. So what do you think the chances are he can get past Adams and potentially even number 2? Because if you take the yards from 2 years ago and the touchdowns from last year, boom, he's right there.
That's exactly that he finishes as wide receiver 2. I'll give a 5 ahead of Adams, a 9. In fact, I have him ranked ahead of Devontae Adams. I think he should firmly be the 4th wide receiver off the board. And to your point, Jake, like the air yards, he left on the field a bunch. The end zone targets, the most since 2017 with D-Hop. So that's great. The catch rate, though, was a career low since his rookie year. And it was so much lower than it had been every year prior to that. I believe Stefon Diggs has really good hands and he can catch the ball. So I'm expecting that catch rate to increase closer to about 70% where he had been in recent years, maybe upper 60s, but it was like 62% last year. So the volume is all there. The usage that we want to see is all there. Now we just need him to catch the ball a little bit more, and I think he will, especially having help like Gabriel Davis across from him. I'm firmly in the camp that he should be the 4th receiver off the board.
All right. Next one. By the way, Chris, you are down 8-0 right now. You can still steal, which is why. No. Here's the difference.
It's all about the third round in Family Feud.
No. What I was gonna say, why this is more interesting than regular Family Feud, because there's actually strategy into passing, unlike the real Family Feud. Because if you let Florio get like 6 correct and he misses the last one, you can guess it. You get all 6 and he gets nothing. Yeah. So
bonus points.
Unlike Family Feud, where like if you pass at the beginning, you're a moron. Like I love when like the once ever like 100 shows and somebody passes and Steve Harvey just looks at him like, really? Like, seriously? All right.
If this was real Family Feud right now, we would play 3 rounds and the score would be like 90-0.
Yeah.
See? Yeah, exactly. That's how it is. So we're sticking with unrealized air yards. True or false? Patrick Mahomes had negative unrealized air yards last year.
Mike,
Chris.
false.
Chris?
Yeah. False.
It's yours. It is true. Minus 14. True. Barely. Minus 14. So quarterbacks, Chris, remember this strategy behind it, Sutton, Metcalf, McLaurin, and stuff like that. The top 5 quarterbacks with unrealized air yards. So this is, again, air yards they threw and left on the field. Do you want to keep this or do you want to pass it?
I'll keep it.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock.
Come on.
It's not Drew Lock.
To Courtland Sutton. Remember Courtland Sutton?
He's not even in the top 7. Drew Lock didn't play enough. It was Teddy for a lot of it.
Teddy Bridgewater for most of it, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
There's one
Let's
that's so
see.
far ahead of everybody else. It's ridiculous.
Oh, man. I don't even know. Let's see. Trevor Lawrence?
Yes. He is number 1. 1,087 unrealized air yards.
Is that good?
That is not good. This is also coming from the quarterback, so this is like a lot's on your fault there, buddy.
Yeah, a lot. Matt Ryan?
There you go. 2 strikes, 1 correct answer.
2 strikes,
All right.
1
You still have 4 more up here.
It's not Big Ben. Like, Big Ben can't. I'm just going to go with Ben. Why not? You didn't even throw
Not
the ball
Big
down
Ben.
the field enough.
You got 1. You left 4 on the board for Florio to steal your 1 point. Florio, one of the remaining 4.
I'm going to guess Russell Wilson.
No, I'm kidding. He's right. Yeah, because it's DK Metcalf. You stole the point.
I was
842.
thinking about Russ, yeah.
Number 2, Josh Allen at 893. Number 4, Justin Fields, 766, and Jalen Hurts at 738 was number 5. There's your real boy, Chris, is Jalen Hurts. So now we get to the Denver Broncos, Chris, and now we get to Russell Wilson. The unrealized air yards, those were there with Metcalf and Lockett. DK Metcalf was on this list. Is it as exciting as it should be for Russell Wilson heading to Denver, or is potentially this level of Russ at this point of his career, maybe it's not as good as we used to know? Somebody be...
Yeah, he's certainly on the decline. There's no question, but I don't know. It was part of it. There seemed to be just some sort of disconnect last year with him and DK. I don't know what it was. Maybe some off-field stuff. Maybe the finger kind of got in the way with Russ when he got back. But I think it's fine. Yeah, there are people that want Russ to cook. I don't think that's going to happen in Denver. I think that they're going to be the run-first team behind a decent line, 2 running backs. They brought back Melvin Gordon. I don't think he's going to be a guy that chucks the ball like 40-plus times. I think it's going to be I think he's gonna be a fine fantasy quarterback. I think people, if you have Courtland Sutton in Dynasty, I think it's exciting. You know, Florio likes Jerry Jeudy. I like Jeudy too. It's certainly an upgrade. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in football, and he does have one of the best deep balls in the game. In fact, nobody has more deep ball touchdowns than him since he's entered. So yeah, I think it's exciting to the point where if you're a Broncos fan, it's a good real life move. From a fantasy standpoint, I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback anymore.
I just realized maybe I should be holding a poop emoji against my mouth. That just
put that thing right in their mouth. Eat that thing up.
But this, maybe we'll do this one, the rainbow one. Chris, before I go to Florio, so your boy Trey Lance is starting week 1. Trey Lance or Russell Wilson?
I'll go with Russ.
Same for you, Florio? Lance versus Wilson, if you knew Lance was starting week 1?
Yeah, as much as I like Lance, I do have Russ. And I fully expect Lance to start week 1, but I have Russ just ahead of him.
Okay. All right.
Did Shanahan
Next
come out
one.
yesterday and say that they were basically trading Jimmy Garoppolo? That was a notification I think I got to my phone. I forgot to look into it.
Yeah,
He
we're
basically
still-
said we're just waiting for him to get
Yeah, we're
traded.
waiting
He
for.
expects it.
We're waiting for somebody to have a desperation need, and like they're
I
This
just
is
thought it
one
was
of those
weird for
ones-
him to say that. That's all. But
They basically went onto the Sleeper app and put on trade block and just like put that little tag on it. Like, you get the
Sent the blast out to
notification
the other 31 GMs.
Yes, exactly. All right. So next one. This one, to save time a little bit here, this one I'm just going to name the category, shout a name, and try to name somebody in the top 7. All right. So this is the least percentage of rushes going for 0 or negative yards for running backs. Somebody jump in. Name. You can't keep thinking forever.
Mike.
Somebody hit the buzzer. Okay.
Does Deebo Samuel count as a running back?
No, only running backs.
Oh,
no.
I was gonna guess
no
him.
wide backs.
Okay,
allowed.
I'll guess Jonathan Taylor.
You get double farts on that one. Chris, your category to take.
Can you repeat the question, Mr. Harvey?
Yep. Lowest percentage of rushes that went for 0 or negative yards of qualified running backs, of course.
Yeah. Derrick Henry.
Wow. So back to Florio. You both got it. So Florio, you can take the category here. So do you want to take it or pass it?
I'll take it.
All right, let's go. Name one. Come on.
This should be the Frank Gore special. I will guess. I'm gonna go with a weird one here. Devin Singletary.
Yes, 13.8. As I accidentally hit the poop thing. So there you go. 13.8, 13%. But he is 6th. There's 6 more. Or wait, 1, 2, 3. We're 7th. There's 6 more with a lower percentage than him.
Rashad Penny.
No, not Rashad Penny. I don't know if he qualified.
Okay.
So that's it. Yeah.
I'll let that one pass. Qualified.
Nick Chubb.
No, not Nick Chubb. That is an official fart.
Wow, I thought Chubb would be for sure.
Damian Harris.
Yep, here we go again.
You
have 1 and 2. One is the greatest running back of all time in the history of forever. And
Christian
if I can make the little smirk emoji for people who followed the Twitter conversation I had during the season last year, and for the people that didn't understand it was a joke, there's a little giant ass hint. If Chris, you don't get that one, I'm gonna be so mad at you.
Man, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna forget that you gave that clue because that's throwing me off, I think.
Yeah, I know it's throwing me off too.
I'm gonna go with a really weird guess here, but I'm gonna say Naheem Hines.
Not Naheem Hines. So you have an entire board of 6, Chris, to steal 1 point, a robust 1 point to get you 2 on the board. It's just
Javonte Williams.
There is another Jay Williams in there, Jamal Williams, 12.7. Okay. We're going backwards here. Leonard Fournette, 12.2. Miles Sanders, 11.7. A.J. Dillon, 11.2. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 10.9. Super bonus, if you can get it. Who's the best running back in the history of forever that shouldn't be splitting time? He shouldn't be a backup. The guy in front of him. Nope. The guy in front of him sucks. He's not any good anymore. What are the Cowboys thinking?
Oh, Tony Pollard.
There you go. Tony Pollard, the best running back in the history of forever. 10.0. That's not who I want to ask you guys about. Florio. Miles Sanders. Obviously not going to score 0 touchdowns again with that kind of workload, but sneak preview of my running back column, I have Kenneth Gainwell as my 5th on the list of breakout running backs because I think this could be a high 50-50 type of split this year, and Gainwell could get 200-ish touches, 180-ish touches, and on his rate last year, that puts him inside the top 30. What hope is left for Miles Sanders? And if you want to say none, go right ahead.
Yeah, it's none for me. I'm not doing the Miles Sanders thing again because he's not going to score 0 touchdowns, but we always have to worry about him getting vultured. 1, by Jalen Hurts. 2, maybe they bring back a Jordan Howard or just a big burly back because they clearly don't love using Miles Sanders in those situations where he could take some hits. And then I'm with you, Jake. Like, Miles Sanders, you're paying an RB2 price borderline for. Kenneth Gainwell in early drafts right now is a complete afterthought. Like, you get him for free. And I think he's going to be the passing downs back. And I'm a PPR guy. In a PPR league, like, you want the pass catching specialist if they're splitting time like that. So I think Miles Sanders could have some nice weeks, but I think more often than not, you're just going to be left very frustrated with him.
So real quick, before we get to the next one, Rashad Penny did qualify, 17.6, 0 or negative rushing yards. Anything to add, Chris? It's your team, Miles Sanders, or...
It's hard to argue that, but I will say there was a moment in the season where they started to run the ball more. Like, it was just Jalen Hurts dropping back, and it was him and Tom Brady every week, the most dropbacks in football. And then they realized, holy crap, I mean, we have a pretty good offensive line here. Let's run the rock. And they were the best rushing team in the NFL. Of course, Hurts led the way among quarterbacks, but it's been 5+ yards per attempt in every year for Miles Sanders. I don't hate where he's going. RB30, you kidding me? You're not going to take at least one shot as RB30 in that range is what, pick 85? I think it's okay. But ultimately, he will get vultured more times than not from Jalen Hurts. But I don't believe that Kenneth Gainwell will get more than like 5 to 7 carries a game. I think he's more of a third down guy, maybe red zone specialist, which is concerning.
Okay. So 10-1, Chris. You need make up some ground and run out of
board.
time here. All right. Here you go. The top 8. There's a lot of options here. You could potentially get on the board here. Top 8 running backs qualified in yards after contact.
Mike.
Chris.
Mike beat you again. Chris, you got to get. Come on.
Jonathan
Sleepy
Taylor.
up there.
Yeah, that's
Jonathan Taylor was number 3 at 3.83. Do you want the board or do you want to pass it?
I'm going to take the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I could get them all wrong and prevent how many points Meaney can steal.
Oh, that's a look at that strategy. That's
I'm actually going to try.
That's some super. Wow, that's sad. I didn't even see that coming. All right, go ahead, Florio. That would have been amazing thinking.
Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb is number 2, 4.24.
Beast.
Yeah, he's awesome. So running backs only again, right? I have to ask because
yes. No wide backs, running backs only.
So bad. Oh, Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry. Ooh, he just made it 3.32.
I'll take it.
This could be a big steal.
Zeke Elliott.
Zeke Elliott, no. 2.73, by the way.
I thought that plotter was always getting touched behind the line.
So, oh, wait.
Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon. Quick fart.
Another. Najee Harris.
Najee Harris.
I took the top 2 out for you, Meaney. That's it.
There you go. So you can steal 3, Chris. You can at least make a little bit of a gap here. What do you got? You got like 5 more still.
Rashad Penny, because you said he qualified. Got
Number 1, Rashad Penny at 4.52. That's not who I'm asking you guys about. Yes. Nick Chubb was second at 4.24. Those are the only guys over 3.83 at Taylor third. Number 4, Elijah Mitchell, 3.7. Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard, 3.61, the better running back. Javonte Williams, 3.42. And Michael Carter, 3.37. Elijah Mitchell is the question here, Chris. Is the fear of Kyle Shanahan undervaluing Elijah Mitchell in drafts right now?
Yeah, probably. They drafted another guy. He's still got Sermon hanging around there. We saw what happened last year, but I still think he's going to be a guy. As long as he's healthy, I feel like he's going to be a guy that touches the ball 20 times. It's just, I don't know, maybe Debo's in there saying, guys, don't give me as many carries this year. Give them to Elijah, but I think he's a pretty decent discount too. Like not a discount. Where he's going in drafts, I think it's fair. And again, if he's healthy, we know what they want to do with San Fran.
RB1?
Mobile.
And RB1,
Low end.
not the
Yeah.
RB. Okay.
Yeah. Low end.
You agree,
Yeah.
Florio, or you think the concern is warranted?
Back in like January when I did my early RB1s, he was like on the borderline of it, and I've been lowering him since because worried about Trey Lance. Maybe he doesn't catch enough passes, Mitchell. But yeah, I agree with Meaney. I think he's a big value and one that's worth taking a shot on right now.
All right. 10-4. 2 more categories. There's some huge bonus points potentially at the end, Chris. So you're not going to be completely out of this at all. All right.
I'm just happy I'm on the board.
The top 5 tight ends to line out wide.
Mike.
Yes.
Kyle Pitts.
Number 2. So number 1 still on the board, Chris. You got a guess possible here. Number 1 still on the board. Like real Family Feud style.
Yeah.
I guess technically I should have done that last question too, but too late. Oh well. This is for pride anyway. Now you're about to get farted out anyway. 3.
Mike Gesicki?
Mike Gesicki was number 1.
Wow.
30.6.
Yes.
He edged Pitts by a 10th. 30.6 to 30.5. Those are the top 2. Chris, 3 more on the board. 3 strikes. Passing.
I'm actually
going
shocked
for it?
that he was number 1. Yeah, I'm going to go for it, of course.
All right, go for it. 3 more.
Okay.
They're all 18% or higher.
Dalton Schultz? That's probably a bad guess. Give me it.
That was an airy one.
Okay, so he's on the board. Man, Dallas Goedert did sometimes last year too. Dallas Goedert? Wow, that one was...
That hate for Dallas Goedert and the fart emojis.
That one was dragged out quite a bit.
One strike left. You got 2, but that's it so far.
That's it so far. Hawkinson?
The variations in these sports are so... Florio, you can steal this category.
Darren Waller.
18.9, he's number 4. Florio gets the steal. Number 3, Travis Kelce, guys, 23.8% of the time. And then 5, Tyler Higbee, 18. Here's the quick version question for you guys. Kyle Pitts, 30.5. There's talk that he could spend even more time out wide. That's the signing of Anthony Firkser to run more as the tight end. They drafted Drake London. They're talking they could be the 1 and 2 with Zacchaeus out of the slot and Landry out of the slot and all that type of stuff. What's the chances that Kyle Pitts becomes the number 1 tight end in all of fantasy for you?
Very high. I think it's like 50%, maybe even higher. Like I have him as my tight end 3 right now, and he's the one tight end that like in the 3rd round of my early drafts, if he's there, I'm just slamming that button. First of all, he lived up to expectations last year. He was the best rookie tight end in decades. He had one touchdown.
But continue. Yeah, I know.
Oh,
you guys should correct me. So yes.
I heard you say that. I was like, oh, it's all right. But yeah, natural touchdown regression plus him taking another step forward. And I know we all like to poo-poo Marcus Mariota.
The wrong guy.
He was the one that propped up Delaney Walker all those years. So I'm really high on Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts or Mark Andrews? Yeah, Kyle Pitts or Mark Andrews for you, Meaney. Okay.
I got Andrews higher too. I mean, all those targets, no Marquise Brown this year. Bateman handling top coverage for me.
Let me switch the question for you guys. Real quick version. Mark Andrews, 3rd round. Kyle Pitts, 4th round. Who you taking?
Yeah, of course. Give me Pitts in the 4th.
Pitts.
It gets to the round desk. All right. One more serious question and then some fun because it's Florio. And I have to do a callback to the time we spent together. So, last one for the serious question here is 5 of the top 9 players had a higher target percentage than their team target percentage. So that's basically like most of the times your team target percentage is higher. You're targeted that many percentage time, blah, blah. These guys, the top 9, by gap-wise, they were targeted so much more while they're on the field than their regular target percentage. You think it makes sense? So, like, if you're on the field, targeted 30% of the time, but you only play 10 snaps a game, you're only going to have like a 5% team target percentage. Make sense? Everybody got that?
Gotcha.
So, 5 of the top 9 were tight ends. Who are the wide receivers?
Mike.
Okay.
Kadarius Toney.
Chris, you gonna take a shot here?
I don't think I fully understand the question, but I was gonna go with.
So their target percentage is higher than their team target percentage.
Yeah.
So the targeted percent of the time when they're on the field is higher than the team target, which is just total team's target percentage.
Yeah.
So you could have somebody who got hurt, target 30% of the time, played 5 games, but for the team target percentage for the year only ends up with like a 7% because you see what I'm saying? There you go.
Didn't play too much.
So it happens a lot with tight ends because they don't get as many snaps. That's why 5 of the top 9 were tight ends.
Right. Sure.
I kind of think I get it, but
I think I do too now. Russell Gage just comes to mind when I was looking at
Russell Gage, number 3.
wow.
7%
Pulled
higher.
that one out of my butt.
Was targeted 7% higher than he was for the team target percentage. Name 4 of the other top 5, all wide receivers, Chris. I gave you a big hint in the explanation.
You gave me a big hint. What? In the what? Introduction?
In the explanation.
Don't got it. Let's see.
Yeah, stop holding this against my face.
Elijah Moore?
Nope, not Elijah Moore. But you're in the right. See, that's the right thinking. Missed time. That was my big hint to you.
Yeah, I was trying to think of guys who missed a little bit of time.
Little bit of time is a good one, and not a lot of bit of time. I'm giving you so much hint, Chris. I'm trying to get you back up in contention here.
You are Sterling Shepard.
There's so much air because this is what his bones are made of at this point.
Brandon Ayuk.
You can steal one, Florio, if you get one of the remaining 4.
So because you said missed a little bit of time, my brain went to AJ Brown.
Boom, number 1. He was targeted 30.3% of the time he was on the field, only 20.1 of his team's target percentage. That's a 10.2 gap. Number 2, Jarvis Landry with a 9.7 gap. Then Russell Gage, Mecole Hardman at 6.3, and Chris Godwin at 5.0. The question, Florio, Mecole Hardman, can he finally be a thing? Or did Juju Smith-Schuster and Sky Moore just ruin any hope of that ever happening?
Can he? Yes. Am I willing to pay up to find out? No. Like, I don't know. My thinking with this Chiefs offense is it just could be a different person. Like, Travis Kelce is going to be consistent. I think Juju will be consistent. Outside of that, I don't see why it will change. Like, Sky Moore is better than any third option that I think they've had in recent years. But, like, I mean, it's not like Mecole. I understand Tyreek was there, but it's not like it was Byron Pringle and DeMarcus Robinson that he couldn't beat out. Yeah. So I'm not willing to find out.
Thank you. Get a different question, Chris. Quick version.
Too bad.
Hearing that AJ Brown stat, concern level for his value in fantasy. Now that he's with Devonta Smith and Jalen
I'm
Hurts.
concerned. I mean, he got a big target share. He was the number 1 guy there, and now he's going to a team that loves to run the football. So we have some questions about Jalen Hurts. Smith is there. Goddard's there. I think it's a great real life move, but he's not.
Is he a wide receiver 1?
No.
Okay, there you go. You answered my question before you even asked it. All right, Chris, you are down 13-4, but that's okay because these are all 3 points each. You have a nice, So 1 football 1. And 3 of, I think what Florio knows is coming. First one, just name the player. There was only 1 player in football last year, 1 receiver, who had over 18% of his team's targets with fewer than 100 total targets.
Oh,
1 player in all of football, more than 18% of the team's targets, but only 90-something. I don't know, it was 96, 97, 98, somewhere around there. Not even 100 total targets in the season.
CD
No,
Lamb?
you both can guess.
Oh.
You both can guess.
Jerry Jeudy?
And your guess, Meaney?
I went CD Lamb.
You are both incorrect. You had the right team, Florio. It was Courtland Sutton.
Oh.
95 total targets with over 18% of the team's total targets. That is insane. All right. You still can close this gap, Chris. You still have a chance here. Shark Week is in a month, everybody. Are you ready? So, both of you answer this question. Sharks can grow up to 50,000 teeth in their lifetime. True or false?
True.
All right, both got true. I'm going to make Florio answer first next time, Chris, because he might skew his answer to try and keep you off the board. It is true.
I just thought, man, they have a lot of teeth.
Yeah.
It is true. So, next question. More people, Florio, you get to go first. More people get hurt every year through drink dispensers than by shark attacks. True or false?
This is one of those crazy stats where I think it's true.
That you found it out that it's like...
How did you find that? Yeah.
Chris, true or false?
I'm going to go false.
It's false? Yeah, it is actually true. More people get hurt by drink dispensers
Of course.
than shark attacks every single year. Last one, before we get out of here, 15 points, I decided, because it's the only way Chris can potentially win. So,
Just letting me have a shot.
Florio, you ready for this one?
I'm
More
ready.
people get attacked by a cow than by a shark every year.
I'm going to say true just because of the amount of cows that are around people every year compared to sharks. And I know this is off topic, Jake. I believe you're a fan. The Impractical Jokers are hosting Shark Week this year.
Are they?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about
There
that.
we go. What about, do they do anything with Chick-fil-A and cows? Are they going to do that too?
I mean, it's a natural branding opportunity right there.
That is potentially true. So, Chris, I'm assuming you're going false.
Yeah, of course.
Just because you have to have a shot at winning. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter anyway. Florio got it correctly. Yes, more people are attacked by cows than sharks every single year.
Man,
Mike
I don't believe it.
Florio.
I'm surrounded by cows up here, farmland. They don't even move.
There has to be like thousands of cows per shark encounter.
Hold, time out. Chris, Your statement was supposed to be they don't even move. You just
Yeah, they don't even. I dropped the ball on that one. Yeah,
you definitely dropped
Well
the ball
done.
on that one. If you don't want to drop the ball, look at that for a transition. Make sure you're following Chris Meaney at FTN code all in, get you 20% off. The Athletic is where my series is. theathletic.com/betstv, all capitals. Get your first free month. You can check out this series. And Florio, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming. Tell everybody what you have going on, where they can follow you. Is your Michael F. Florio is right there, your Twitter handle, but everything else they can follow you and see what you're doing.
Yeah, Michael F. Florio on Twitter and Instagram, the best spots to kind of get everything all in one. NFL.com, NFL Network, Roto Baller. And on the weekends now, I'm hosting a serious show with a dear friend of all of ours, the King, Scott Engel.
Nice.
Wow.
Very nice.
Scott Engel apparently hated my draft yesterday with the Fantasy Pros. Like, he was the #1 hater of the draft results, so I don't know what's going on there. I think.
I got to see this
He
draft
just
now.
doesn't like you. He just doesn't.
Yeah,
like
I know.
you.
Apparently, he really hates my draft. But I love both these guys. Hopefully, you're following them. And I'll be back next week with more games. Chris is avoiding the true and false game for next week with Jeff Ratcliffe. No, not Jeff Ratcliffe. Lauren and Marcus Grant, who's on those shows with Mike Florio. I'll see you next week. These guys won't.